Welcome to a new compilation of 101 random facts that will make you question everything. Sit down, relax, and let's dive in. Number 1. Earth's rotation isn't fixed. It's slowing down ever so slightly. Every century, the length of a day increases by about 1.8 milliseconds. Over millions of years, that small shift adds up significantly. This phenomenon is due to tidal friction caused by the moon, which acts like a brake. When dinosaurs roamed Earth, days were shorter, only around 23 hours long. Scientists measure this change using atomic clocks and astronomical observations, and it's one reason why we sometimes add leap seconds to our timekeeping. Number 2. Ironically and hilariously, the fear of long words is called hippopotamonstrosis This 36-letter monstrosity makes the phobia even more terrifying for those who have it. The term was likely coined to poke fun at overly complex language, and it traces its roots back to the 1st century BCE. Writers and scholars back then used it to mock others who had a pretentious love for complicated vocabulary. It's a humorous reminder of how language can sometimes be its own worst enemy. Number 3. You might think chainsaws are just tools for cutting wood, but they actually began as a medical device. In the late 18th century, 2 Scottish doctors developed the first chainsaw to assist during childbirth. Specifically, it was used in a procedure called symphysiotomy, which involved widening the pelvis by removing bone or cartilage. The early versions were hand-cranked and much smaller than today's models. It wasn't until much later that the chainsaw evolved into the tool we associate with forestry. Number 4. Avocados are often confused for vegetables, but they're technically a fruit, and more specifically, a single-seeded berry. They grow on trees native to Central and South America and have been cultivated for thousands of years. The creamy green interior is full of healthy fats, making avocados a nutritional powerhouse. Despite being called alligator pears in some parts of the world, their mild flavor and versatility make them a staple in dishes like guacamole, smoothies, and even desserts. Nature's butter, indeed. Number 5. During hot summer days, the Eiffel Tower can grow taller by as much as 15 centimeters. This happens because of thermal expansion, a process where heat causes the iron to expand. As the temperature rises, the metal's particles gain kinetic energy, which makes them vibrate and take up more space. This subtle change is reversible, and the tower returns to its original height once the temperature drops. It's a perfect real-life example of physics in action, standing tall in Paris. Number 6. Trypophobia is not officially recognized as a diagnosable condition, but it's surprisingly common. It's the fear or aversion to closely packed holes or clusters. Think honeycombs, lotus seed pods, or even certain types of sponges. People who have it often feel uncomfortable, anxious, or even disgusted when looking at these patterns. Scientists believe this reaction might be an evolutionary defense, as similar patterns appear on poisonous animals or diseased skin. Crumpets, bubble wrap, and strawberries? Nope, not on their brunch menu. Number 7. Allodoxophobia is a rare social phobia involving an overwhelming fear of other people's opinions. It can cause people to avoid conversations, debates, or even social interactions altogether, all out of fear of judgment or disapproval. Though it might sound quirky, it can have a real impact on relationships and self-confidence. The term comes from Greek roots: allo, meaning other, doxa meaning opinion, and phobia meaning fear. It's a reminder that words, thoughts, and judgment can feel more threatening than they seem. Number 8. Believe it or not, Australia is actually wider than the moon. The moon's diameter is about 3,400 kilometers, but if you measure Australia from east to west, it stretches roughly 4,000 kilometers across. It's one of those surprising facts that puts our home planet into perspective. This vast span includes deserts, tropical rainforests, snowy mountains, and coral reefs. Australia is not just one giant outback. It's a continent of extremes, stretching wider than the celestial body that lights up our night sky. Number 9. The word mellifluous sounds as smooth as its meaning. It refers to a sound that's pleasingly musical, soft, and sweet to hear. Think of a favorite song, the gentle voice of a storyteller, or a flowing river's hum. Its roots come from Latin. Mel means honey, and fluere means to flow. so literally it means flowing with honey. It's a favorite among poets and linguists alike, a word that's as soothing to say as it is to hear. Number 10. Before they were the Spice Girls, they were known as Touch. The group formed in the mid-90s and felt their original identity was too bland and lacked personality. In fact, Mel C admitted in a 2018 interview that they felt they were trying to fit into a mold rather than break it. Once they rebranded to the Spice Girls, everything changed. With their new names, Sporty, Scary, Baby, Ginger, and Posh, they became icons of girl power and pop history overnight. Number 11. Before becoming Baby Spice, Emma Bunton auditioned for the role of Bianca Butcher in the iconic British soap EastEnders. She already had a small part in the show during the 90s, but hoped to land a bigger role. Patsy Palmer ended up getting the part, but missing out turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Not long after, Emma auditioned for a new girl band, which would become the Spice Girls, and the rest is pop culture history. Talk about a plot twist. Number 12. Human teeth are marvels of biology, but they have one big weakness: they can't heal themselves. Unlike bones, which are alive and constantly renewing, teeth are coated in enamel, a hard substance that contains no living cells. Once it's damaged, through decay or trauma, it can't regenerate. That's why cavities, chips, or cracks often need fillings or crowns. Regular brushing, flossing, and dental checkups are your only line of defense. Once it's gone, so take care of that pearly smile. Number 13. In Switzerland, it's illegal to own just one guinea pig. Why? Because these adorable creatures are highly social and need companionship to stay healthy and happy. Keeping a single guinea pig is considered animal abuse under Swiss law. The country even has rental guinea pigs for those who lose a pet and need a companion temporarily. It's an example of how some countries recognize emotional and social needs in animals, not just humans. Now that's what we call humane legislation. Number 14. Ever wondered why we say raise a toast? The phrase actually dates back to ancient Rome, when people would drop a piece of toast, yes, actual bread, into their wine. It wasn't just for flavor. The toast helped absorb some of the acidity or toxins that were sometimes present. It also symbolized good health and camaraderie. The tradition evolved over time, and while we no longer dunk our bread, the sentiment remains. So next time you toast, think of Roman dinner parties. Number 15. The heart of a shrimp isn't where you'd expect. It's located in its head. That's not the only strange thing about their anatomy. Shrimp also have an open circulatory system, which means their organs don't have arteries or veins. Instead, their blood flows freely around their internal organs in a cavity called a hemocole. This design works perfectly in aquatic environments. Next time you're enjoying shrimp cocktail, remember, that noggin holds more than just eyes. It's got a heartbeat too. Number 16. Amy Poehler, who famously played the cool mom in Mean Girls, was only 7 years older than Rachel McAdams, who played her on-screen daughter, Regina George. Amy was 32 at the time of filming, while Rachel was 25. Despite their small age gap, the casting worked perfectly for the film's satirical tone. Their chemistry added to the humor, with Amy's overly enthusiastic, tracksuit-wearing mom character becoming an instant classic. It's Hollywood magic at its funniest, and most age-defyingly strange. Number 17. There's actual science behind why people get creative in the shower. Warm water boosts blood flow and triggers dopamine release, which enhances creative thinking. Since showers also offer solitude and white noise, your mind is free to wander without distractions. This relaxed state, known as the default mode network, helps connect ideas in new ways. So if you've ever had a genius idea mid-shampoo, you're not alone. Einstein himself valued solo time to think. Turns out, inspiration is a little steamy. Number 18. Baby rabbits are called kits, short for kittens. Not to be confused with baby cats, these tiny fluff balls are born blind, hairless, and completely dependent on their mother. Kits are usually born in nests made of grass and the mother's fur. Within a week or two, they begin to grow fur and open their eyes. Despite their fragility, kits develop quickly and can be fully weaned within 4 weeks. The term kit is also used for some other small mammals. Number 19. The unicorn is officially Scotland's national animal. Yes, A mythical creature was chosen to represent the country, known for its fierce independence and rich folklore. The unicorn has long symbolized purity, strength, and nobility in Celtic mythology. It's been used in Scottish heraldry since the 12th century and often appears in chains, representing power that's been tamed by the Scottish crown. Even on the UK coat of arms, Scotland's unicorn proudly stands alongside England's lion. Magic and majesty in one emblem. Number 20. The first successful airplane flight happened on December 17, 1903. Wilbur and Orville Wright made aviation history in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, with their aircraft, the Flyer. The first flight lasted only 12 seconds and covered 120 feet, but it marked the dawn of a new era. The brothers used wooden propellers and a homemade engine to power their creation. They made 4 flights that day, with the final one lasting nearly a minute. From humble wings came global change. Number 21. Venus is the only planet in our solar system that spins clockwise. Most planets rotate in the same direction as they orbit the sun, but Venus does the opposite, a phenomenon known as retrograde rotation. One theory suggests a massive collision long ago flipped its axis. A Venusian day is also longer than its year. It takes 243 Earth days to rotate once, but only 225 Earth days to orbit the sun. It's the solar system's slow-spinning, rule-breaking diva. Number 22. Nutmeg isn't just a spice, it's also a hallucinogen. It contains a compound called myristicin, which can cause dizziness, nausea, hallucinations, and even delirium if consumed in large quantities. Historically, it was used in folk medicine and even as a psychedelic, though its effects are unpredictable and often unpleasant. Despite its kitchen-friendly nature, it's definitely not meant for recreational use. Just a pinch in your latte or pie is perfect. Too much, and you're on a very weird ride indeed. Number 23. In 2018, a bottle of French Burgundy became the most expensive wine ever sold at auction. The 1945 Romani Conti fetched a staggering $558,000 at Sotheby's, over 17 times its original estimate. This vintage came from a historic year. Only 600 bottles were produced, just before the vineyard's vines were destroyed and replanted. Rich collectors seek it not just for taste, but legacy. It's a blend of rarity, reputation, and history, proof that some wines only get better and pricier with age. Number 24. Art used to be an Olympic sport. From 1912 to 1948, the Olympics awarded medals for artistic works inspired by sport, including painting, sculpture, music, literature, and architecture. These events aimed to blend physical and artistic excellence, in line with the ancient Greek tradition. Although they were eventually dropped due to concerns about amateurism, many artists proudly displayed their Olympic medals. Imagine winning gold for a painting of a hurdler. It's a forgotten chapter in Olympic history, creative competition at its finest. Number 25. A traditional chef's hat, or toque, has 100 pleats, each said to represent a different way to cook an egg. While that number may be symbolic more than literal, the pleats historically indicated a chef's level of experience and skill. The higher the hat and the more pleats, the more respected the chef. Eggs, considered the ultimate test of technique, earn their iconic place in the hat. From poaching to soufflés, the egg is both simple and deceptively complex. Number 26. In 2014, 2 scientists in Antarctica matched on Tinder, creating one of the most remote dating stories ever. The man was stationed at McMurdo Station, the U.S. research base, and the woman was working at a nearby field camp, reachable only by a 45-minute helicopter flight. When the app worked, despite limited connectivity, they both swiped right. It's a testament to the reach of digital love and the power of algorithms, even at the bottom of the earth. Talk about cool chemistry. Number 27. Spain's national anthem, the Marcha Real, has no official lyrics. It's one of only a few anthems worldwide that's purely instrumental, alongside those of San Marino, Kosovo, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Over the years, there have been several attempts to add words, but none were officially adopted. The anthem is a stirring, regal tune often played at state ceremonies and sporting events. Its wordless nature lets the music speak for itself, uniting the country through melody alone. Number 28. The Japanese word kuchisabishi, describes a feeling most of us know well: eating when you're not hungry, just because your mouth feels lonely. Literally translating to mouth lonely, this charming term captures the emotional and sometimes subconscious habits behind snacking. Whether it's boredom, stress, or comfort seeking, Kuchisabishi reminds us that eating isn't always about hunger. It's a perfect example of how language can wrap complex human behavior into one beautifully specific word. Pass the chips. But are you really hungry? Number 29. Blue lobsters are incredibly rare. So rare, in fact, that the odds of finding one are estimated at 1 in 2 million. Their vivid electric blue color comes from a genetic mutation that causes the lobster to produce too much of a certain protein. Most lobsters are a mottled green-brown and only turn red when cooked, but blue lobsters stand out like ocean royalty. When caught, many are sent to aquariums rather than dinner tables, where they can be admired, not eaten. Number 30. There's only one letter in the alphabet that doesn't appear in the name of any U.S. state, and that letter is Q. From Arizona to Texas and New York to Wyoming, every other letter gets at least one state mention. Even less common letters like X in Texas and New Mexico or Z in Arizona make the list. But poor Q never gets its moment. It's a fun little quirk of geography and language that makes you want to double-check a map. Number 31. Christian Louboutin's iconic red-soled heels were inspired by art, specifically a drawing by pop artist Andy Warhol titled Flowers. While finalizing a prototype, Louboutin felt something was missing. Looking over at his assistant painting her nails red, he grabbed the polish and coated the sole. The effect was instant glamour. That stroke of color became his trademark. Today, the red sole is a global symbol of luxury and high fashion, and it's all thanks to a spontaneous burst of creativity. Number 32. Marcel Proust's À la recherche du temps perdu, translated as In Search of Lost Time, holds the record for the longest novel in the world, with around 9.6 million characters. Spanning 7 volumes, the book explores memory, art, and identity with deeply introspective prose. Written between 1913 and 1927, it's a literary mountain for any reader. Its most famous moment? A Madeleine cookie dipped in tea, triggering a flood of childhood memories, proof that food, emotion, and words can be timeless. Number 33. Google Images exists because of a dress. Specifically, the plunging green Versace gown worn by Jennifer Lopez at the 2000 Grammy Awards. So many people were searching for pictures of it that Google couldn't keep up. The volume of image-related queries led to the creation of Google Images. Eric Schmidt, Google's executive chairman at the time, confirmed this in an interview. One stunning outfit literally changed the internet, proving fashion can be as influential as any algorithm. Number 34. On May 27, 2005, Big Ben's clock mysteriously stopped at exactly 10:07 p.m. The likely cause? An unusually high temperature of 31.8 degrees Celsius in London. Experts believe the intense heat may have caused the metal components to expand just enough to jam the clock's mechanism temporarily. It resumed ticking after a short break, but the brief pause drew global attention. Even the most iconic timekeeper in the world sometimes needs a moment to cool off, literally. Number 35. Walt Disney still holds the record for the most Academy Awards won by a single person. He won 22 competitive Oscars and received 4 honorary ones, bringing his total to 26. Nominated 59 times, Disney's impact on animation, storytelling, and cinema is unmatched. His legacy includes Snow White, the first full-length animated feature, and the creation of Disneyland. His office had an Oscar shelf built into the wall, because when you're Walt Disney, one trophy cabinet just won't cut it. Number 36. There's a fruit that tastes like chocolate pudding. It's called black sapote, sometimes nicknamed the chocolate pudding fruit. Native to Central and South America, this fruit has a dark, creamy flesh when ripe, and a flavor surprisingly similar to chocolate custard. It's naturally sweet, low in fat, and can even be used as a healthy dessert base. Just scoop and eat. No added sugar, no processing, just a tree-grown treat that tastes like dessert and feels like a miracle. Number 37. Queen Elizabeth II wasn't just a monarch. She was also a trained mechanic. During World War II, at age 16, she joined the Auxiliary Territorial Service and trained as a truck driver and mechanic. She learned to repair engines, change tires, and drive military vehicles. Known as Princess Auto Mechanic, she became the first female royal to join the armed forces full-time. Her hands-on spirit earned respect worldwide. Royal, yes, but not afraid to get grease under her nails. Number 38. Those famous stone heads on Easter Island actually have bodies buried beneath the ground. In the 2010s, archaeologists discovered that many of the island's iconic statues, or moai, have torsos up to 33 feet tall. Over centuries, soil and sediment covered the lower portions, hiding their full form. Carved by the Rapa Nui people between 1250 and 1500 CE, these statues were placed to honor ancestors. It turns out what we thought were just heads are full-bodied sentinels of history. Number 39. The M's in M&M's stand for Mars and Murray. Forrest Mars and Bruce Murray, the businessmen behind the candy's creation. During World War II, they wanted to develop a chocolate that wouldn't melt in soldiers' hands. The candy shell was the perfect solution. However, their partnership soured, and Mars eventually bought out Murray's 20% share, just before the candy became a colossal success. Today, M&Ms are among the most recognizable treats worldwide, sweet, colorful, and born from a very bittersweet business deal. Number 40. Pigeons can tell the difference between works by Picasso and Monet. In a 1995 experiment, researchers trained pigeons to recognize paintings by the two artists. After learning to identify the styles, the birds could correctly sort unfamiliar paintings from each artist. The study showed pigeons have visual discrimination skills sophisticated enough to process abstract art. It's an oddly fascinating crossover of science and aesthetics. Next time you visit an art museum, don't be surprised if a pigeon has a critique. Number 41. The official name for the hashtag symbol is Octothorpe. The octo part refers to the 8 points on the symbol, while the origin of Thorpe is less clear. Some say it was added as a joke by Bell Labs employees in the 1960s. Before social media, the symbol was mostly used in programming and telephony. Now, it's a staple of online culture, guiding everything from trends to movements. Funny how a quirky name can hide behind such a powerful icon. Number 42. The voice actors for Mickey and Minnie Mouse were married in real life. Russi Taylor and Wayne Allwine voiced the iconic Disney characters for decades and tied the knot in 1991. Their real-life romance brought extra charm to the characters' on-screen love. Allwine had been the voice of Mickey since 1977, and Taylor took over as Minnie in 1986. Their chemistry wasn't just acting, it was genuine affection, cartoon hearts and all. Disney magic doesn't get more real than that. Number 43. A blue whale's heartbeat can be heard from over 2 miles away. These ocean giants can weigh up to 150,000 kilograms, and their hearts alone weigh around 180 kilograms, about the size of a small motorcycle. When they dive deep, their heart rate slows to conserve oxygen, sometimes beating as little as once every 10 seconds. Despite their size, they glide silently through the sea. It's humbling to think something so massive has a heartbeat you can actually hear. Number 44. The last letter added to the English alphabet was J. Before the 16th century, the letter I did double duty, representing both the I and J sounds. In 1524, Italian grammarian Gian Giorgio Trissino proposed separating them, giving birth to J as its own character. Over time, it took on its distinct identity in words like jam, jungle, and joy. While it's now fully accepted, J is still one of the least used letters in English, making its late arrival feel even more dramatic. Number 45. An ultra-crepidarian is someone who gives opinions on things they know nothing about. The term originates from Latin and stems from a story about a shoemaker criticizing a painting. The artist, Apelles, replied with sutor ne ultra crepidam, meaning shoemaker, not beyond the shoe. It became a clever way to tell someone to stay in their lane. Nowadays, it describes that person in every comment section, confidently talking nonsense. Useful word, especially when someone's confidently wrong at trivia night. Number 46. Salvador Dalí designed the Chupa Chups logo. In 1969, the Spanish lollipop company approached Dalí for a rebrand. The surrealist painter, known for melting clocks and dreamlike imagery, created the logo we still see today, bright, floral, and cleverly positioned to sit neatly on top of the wrapper. He reportedly designed it in under an hour. It's one of the most unexpected artist-candy crossovers ever, blending art and commerce. Who knew that licking a lollipop could also mean admiring surrealist genius? Number 47. Ketchup was once sold as medicine. In the early 1800s, Ohio physician John Cook Bennett claimed tomatoes could cure ailments like indigestion and diarrhea. He published articles praising tomatoes' health benefits and turned them into a powder that could be mixed into pills or ketchup. Soon, medicinal ketchup hit the shelves. Though the medical claims were debunked, ketchup remained wildly popular. Today, it's found in nearly every kitchen, but back then it was touted as a cure-all condiment. Number 48. The world's longest walkable route stretches over 14,000 miles, from Magadan, Russia to Cape Town, South Africa. This mind-boggling path doesn't require boats or planes, just bridges and roads. Crossing icy tundras, scorching deserts, dense forests, and bustling cities, the trek spans multiple time zones and climates. Estimated to take over 3 years of nonstop walking, the journey is mostly hypothetical, but theoretically possible. So if you've got great shoes, endless stamina, and years to spare, your mega adventure awaits. Number 49. The moon has its own version of earthquakes, known as moonquakes. These seismic events can be triggered by meteorite impacts, thermal expansion from sunlight, or gravitational tugs from Earth. Some shallow moonquakes can last up to 10 minutes, much longer than most earthquakes here. NASA's Apollo missions installed seismometers on the lunar surface, which captured these quakes and offered insight into the moon's internal structure. Though the moon seems silent and still, it's occasionally shaken by its own celestial jitters. Number 50. Humans are the only animals known to blush. This unique response is tied to our awareness of social perception. When we feel embarrassed, the body releases adrenaline, which causes facial blood vessels to dilate, resulting in reddening cheeks. Charles Darwin called blushing the most peculiar and most human of all expressions. It's a spontaneous display of emotion that can't be faked. No other animal shows this type of social vulnerability, making it a curious, involuntary mirror of our inner feelings. Number 51. In Pulp Fiction, every clock you see is set to 4:20. Whether it's in the pawn shop, the diner, or Jackrabbit Slims, the time never changes. Some believe it's a subtle nod to cannabis culture, as 420 is a popular code among marijuana enthusiasts. Others think it's just a quirky Tarantino touch. He's known for sneaking hidden details into his films. Either way, it's one of those blink and you'll miss it Easter eggs that rewards observant fans on rewatch. Number 52. Kim Kardashian reportedly has a glam clause in her will. The clause ensures that if she's ever unable to care for herself, whether unconscious or otherwise incapacitated, someone is to maintain her hair, nails, and makeup. It sounds extreme, but it fits the image-obsessed world she helped define. Known for her brand-building savvy and meticulous appearance, this clause shows how deeply image plays into her legacy. Even in a coma, Kim's contour would be on point. Now that's commitment. Number 53. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. Their eyes measure around 2 inches across, among the largest of any land animal. This helps them spot predators from long distances. Their brains, however, are relatively small, about the size of a walnut. This may explain their sometimes erratic behavior, like running in circles when threatened. Despite this, ostriches are incredibly fast, capable of sprinting up to 45 miles per hour. So while they might not outthink danger, they can definitely outrun it. Number 54. A jiffy is a real unit of time, specifically 1/100th of a second. The term was first used by physicist Gilbert Newton Lewis in the early 20th century as a standardized measurement for scientific timing. In electronics and computing, a jiffy can also refer to the time between system timer interrupts, which varies by system. Outside of science, people casually say back in a jiffy without realizing it's technically measurable. Turns out your quick trip might be more precise than you thought. Number 55. You can't hum if you hold your nose. Seriously, try it. Humming requires airflow through your nose, and when you pinch it shut, there's nowhere for the sound to go. The vibration has no exit route, so it's instantly silenced. It's one of those silly but oddly satisfying facts that delights kids and adults alike. Now that you know, you'll probably catch yourself trying it again, just to prove it's true. Science meets playground fun, one nostril at a time. Number 56. Vatican City is the smallest country in the world, covering just 0.2 square miles, roughly the size of a large golf course. Located entirely within Rome, it's home to around 800 residents, including the Pope, cardinals, and Swiss guards. Despite its tiny size, it operates as a sovereign nation with its own postal service, radio station, and even euro coins. It's the spiritual and administrative center of the Catholic Church. Small in size, massive in influence, it's truly one of a kind. Number 57. Japan is home to over 200 unique Kit Kat flavors. From matcha green tea to wasabi, soy sauce, purple sweet potato, and even baked potato, the variety is mind-blowing. Many are exclusive to certain regions, cities, or seasons, making them collectible souvenirs for travelers. Kit Kat's name sounds like Kitokatsu, a Japanese phrase meaning "you will surely win," which makes it a popular good luck gift. In Japan, this humble chocolate bar has turned into a cultural and culinary phenomenon. Number 58. Kris Jenner has 13 grandchildren, and counting. Her family tree includes Kourtney's 4 kids, Mason, Penelope, Rain, Rocky, Kim's 4, North, Saint, Chicago, Psalm, Rob's daughter, Dream, Chloe's 2, True and Tatum, and Kylie's 2, Stormy and Aerie. As the ultimate momager, Kris helped launch an empire built on reality TV, social media, and beauty brands. Her growing brood means more birthdays, more matching outfits, and more screen time. Keeping up with the grandkids might be her next hit series. Number 59. Crocodiles can't stick out their tongues. A special membrane holds the tongue in place on the roof of their mouths, preventing it from moving freely. This adaptation helps crocodiles keep their mouths open underwater without swallowing excess water. It also aids in clamping down on prey with incredible force. While other reptiles use their tongues for tasting or sensing, crocodiles rely more on their powerful jaws. So if one's got its mouth open, it's not for singing. It's probably for biting. Number 60. Pigs can't look up into the sky. Their necks aren't structured to allow upward motion. So unless they lie down or roll over, the sky is a mystery to them. This anatomical limitation comes from their low-set heads and stiff spine. It doesn't impact their lives much, since pigs are focused more on rooting around for food. But it does mean they'll never watch a sunset or stargaze. Still, pigs are intelligent social animals, so maybe they're dreaming of stars instead. Number 61. Kim Kardashian knows the alphabet and sign language, and she once used it to cheat on school tests. According to her own story, Kim and her friends would silently fingerspell answers across the room using American Sign Language. While definitely not the intended use of ASL, it shows her early creativity and resourcefulness. Today, she's more likely to use her platform for law reform than class tests, but that sneaky school day strategy remains one of her funnier early confessions. Number 62. In your lifetime, you could accidentally eat around 70 insects and 10 spiders in your sleep. That number isn't a hard fact. It's more urban legend than certainty. But bugs can and do end up in homes, and sometimes in open mouths. Insects are attracted to warmth, moisture, or light, and may wander close to sleepers. Whether it's exaggerated or not, it makes for a shudder-worthy stat. The good news? You won't taste them. The bad news? You still probably swallowed one. Number 63. Everyone has a unique tongue print, just like fingerprints. The shape, texture, and patterns of papillae, those tiny bumps on your tongue, are completely individual. Tongue prints are so distinctive that some researchers have proposed using them for biometric identification, similar to retina scans or fingerprints. While not commonly used yet, the idea has serious potential in security fields. So next time you stick your tongue out, just know it's one of a kind. You're literally tasting the world with something no one else has. Number 64. If you could fall through a tunnel straight to the center of the Earth, the journey would take about 19 minutes. Scientists used physics models, assuming a frictionless tunnel and no earthly interruptions, to calculate the time. You'd start off slow, accelerate as you pass the mantle, and reach maximum speed at the center, then decelerate as gravity pulls you the opposite direction. Of course, molten metal, insane pressure, and intense heat make this impossible, but in theory, it's a thrilling ride. Number 65. The cloaks worn by the Night's Watch in Game of Thrones were actually made from IKEA rugs. The costume department bought affordable rugs, cut and shaped them, and added dyes and weathering to create the perfect, grim, medieval look. It's a brilliant example of creative costuming on a budget. IKEA even responded by releasing a DIY guide for fans to make their own Jon Snow cloak. From flat-pack furniture to fantasy fashion, turns out IKEA is ready for the night shift. Number 66. The high school hallway set used in iCarly was also featured in Saved by the Bell and That's So Raven. This same school backdrop has appeared in multiple Nickelodeon and Disney shows, with just minor tweaks between productions. It's a classic case of Hollywood set recycling, where iconic locations are reused to save time and money. Once you notice the hallway's layout, the lockers, the stairs, the painted bricks, you'll start spotting it everywhere. TV magic, just on a budget. Number 67. Harry Styles has 4 nipples, a condition called polythelia. It's more common than you'd think. Around 1 in 18 people are born with extra nipples, often mistaken for moles. Styles has spoken about it openly and with good humor during interviews. These extras are usually harmless and rarely functional, but they sure make for an interesting trivia tidbit. In Harry's case, it's just another reason fans find him unique. Pop star, fashion icon, and yes, owner of a medically cool body quirk. Number 68. Before people said cheese for photos, they said prunes. In the 1840s, a wide smile was considered inappropriate, too childlike or unserious. So photographers advised subjects to say prunes instead. This caused the mouth to purse slightly, creating a more refined, closed lip expression. That's why people in old photos often look so serious. The tradition of saying cheese didn't catch on until cameras became more casual and quicker, making smiling more natural. It's the evolution of the photo face, one vowel at a time. Number 69. A blue whale's tongue can weigh as much as an adult elephant. That's roughly 2,700 kilograms of muscle, just for one tongue. These ocean giants also have hearts that weigh nearly a ton and can be as large as a small car. Despite their size, blue whales feed almost exclusively on tiny krill, filtering them through their baleen plates. A single mouthful can trap over 500,000 calories. It's a paradox of nature. The world's biggest animal eats some of the tiniest. Number 70. Queen Elizabeth II had a stand-in named Ella Slack, who helped plan royal events. Because she was similar in height and build, Ella would rehearse processions, stage appearances, and ceremonies to test lighting, timing, and positioning. However, she was never allowed to sit on the throne, so she had to hover above it while practicing. Ella served the Queen for over 30 years, dedicating herself to invisible work that ensured perfection. She's royalty in her own right, behind the curtain. Number 71. There's an ant species unique to New York City, appropriately nicknamed the Manhattan. Discovered in a small 14-block area of Manhattan, this species doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. Biologists believe it may have evolved in isolation due to the city's unique urban ecosystem. The Manhattan is smaller, faster, and may even have a different diet compared to typical ants. It's a reminder that even in the busiest concrete jungles, nature adapts, survives, and sometimes becomes something entirely new. Number 72. The Eiffel Tower was originally pitched to Barcelona, not Paris. Gustave Eiffel proposed building the iron structure for the 1888 Universal Exposition in Spain, but city officials rejected it, calling it too ugly. Afterward, he offered the design to Paris, which reluctantly accepted. Though many Parisians hated it at first, calling it an eyesore, it's now one of the most recognized landmarks on Earth. So yes, the Eiffel Tower is a French icon, but it was almost a Spanish reject. Number 73. Only one Shell gas station in the world is actually shaped like a shell. Built in the 1930s in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the bright yellow clamshell-shaped building was part of a clever branding effort by the Shell Oil Company. While 8 were built, Only this one survives. And it's been preserved as a historic landmark. Restored by preservation groups, it now stands as a quirky monument to vintage advertising. It's the only gas station where filling up might make you hungry for seafood. Number 74. The world's shortest commercial flight takes just 90 seconds. Operated by Loganair, it runs between the Scottish islands of Westray and Papa Westray, only 1.7 miles apart. In perfect weather, the flight can take as little as 53 seconds. It's mainly used by teachers, doctors, and island residents needing quick access to essential services. There's even a Guinness World Record for it. The tiny hop proves that not all flights require snacks, movies, or even time to blink. Number 75. Dolphins have names for each other. Researchers discovered that dolphins use unique whistles to identify individual members of their pod. These signature whistles function like names, allowing dolphins to call out to each other and respond when addressed. If separated, a dolphin will repeat a specific whistle to reunite. It's one of the clearest examples of naming behavior in non-human animals. With this level of communication, dolphins aren't just smart, they're basically having their own version of roll call in the ocean. Number 76. That blob of toothpaste on your brush has a name. It's called a nurdle. The term was coined in advertising and later picked up in toothpaste branding wars. In fact, there was even a legal battle over which toothpaste brand could show a nurdle in its ads. Beyond toothpaste, nurdle is also used to describe tiny plastic pellets used in manufacturing, making it one strange word with two very different meanings. Whether it's brushing teeth or building toys, nurdles get around. Number 77. Istanbul is the only city in the world that straddles two continents, Europe and Asia. Divided by the Bosphorus Strait, one side of the city lies in Europe, while the other reaches into Asia. This geographical split makes Istanbul a cultural crossroads, blending architecture, food, and traditions from both continents. Whether you're sipping Turkish tea in a European cafe or exploring ancient bazaars on the Asian side, the city seamlessly merges two worlds. It's east meets west, in the most literal sense. Number 78. There are over 1,000 types of bananas in the world, which can be divided into about 50 main groups. Most people only know the common yellow Cavendish banana, but varieties include red bananas, apple bananas, and the large, starchy plantains used in cooking. Some are sweet, others taste like vanilla or even lemon. While bananas are technically berries, they don't grow on trees. They grow on giant herbs. With so much variety, the humble banana is far from boring. Number 79. The letter E is the most frequently used letter in the English alphabet. In fact, it appears in around 11% of all words. This dominance makes it especially important in games like Scrabble, cryptography, and even keyboard design. On the flip side, Z is the least used letter, followed closely by Q. That's why words with those letters are worth the most points in word games. Whether you're writing a novel or solving a puzzle, E is always working overtime. Number 80. Hazelnuts are the official state nut of Oregon. The state grows 99% of all hazelnuts produced in the United States, thanks to its ideal climate and fertile Willamette Valley. Known locally as filberts, these nuts are a major part of Oregon agriculture and are even celebrated with festivals. They're used in everything from pralines and spreads to Nutella. So if you love that creamy, chocolatey combo, you can thank Oregon for keeping the hazelnut hustle alive and delicious. Number 81. The Beatles' song, "A Day in the Life," ends with a frequency only dogs can hear. This ultra-high-pitched tone was added by John Lennon as a little prank for canine companions. Humans can't hear the frequency, but dogs often react with confusion or interest. It's a strange Easter egg hidden in one of the most iconic tracks on Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Proof that even musical legends enjoyed messing with both fans and their furry friends. Number 82. Vietnam is the world's second-largest coffee producer, just behind Brazil. Famous for its Robusta beans, Vietnam produces strong, bold coffee that's often brewed with a metal drip filter called a fin. Add sweetened condensed milk and ice, and you've got café sua ja, Vietnamese iced coffee. Coffee culture is a huge part of daily life there, with cafes on nearly every corner. Despite not being the first country people think of for coffee, Vietnam is quietly fueling millions every morning. Number 83. The reality TV show Big Brother originated in the Netherlands in 1999. Created by John de Mol, the format involved contestants living in a house together under constant surveillance. It was a social experiment turned phenomenon, spreading to over 50 countries. The name comes from George Orwell's 1984, referencing a world of surveillance. Love it or hate it, Big Brother helped redefine modern television, sparking countless spin-offs and showing that people really will watch, well, people doing absolutely anything. Number 84. The first ever speeding ticket was issued in 1896 in Kent, England. The driver, Walter Arnold, was caught going 8 miles per hour in a zone where the speed limit was just 2 miles per hour. He was chased down by a police officer on a bicycle. Yes, a bicycle. And fined 1 shilling. The incident marked the beginning of traffic laws as we know them. So the next time you're pulled over, remember, the world's very first speeder wasn't exactly living life in the fast lane. Number 85. During famines in the 18th and 19th centuries, people sometimes ate candles to survive. Back then, candles were made from animal fat, tallow, or beeswax, both technically edible, though far from tasty. Desperate for calories, the starving would sneak candles from homes, churches, or public buildings. It's a haunting reminder of how extreme hunger can drive people to consume anything remotely nourishing. Today's scented soy candles wouldn't help in the same way, though they might make your final breath smell like vanilla. Number 86. In Japan, KFC is the go-to Christmas meal. This tradition began in the 1970s after a successful marketing campaign called Kurisumasu ni wa Kentucky, or Kentucky for Christmas. At a time when turkey was hard to find, fried chicken became a festive alternative. Families now pre-order their buckets weeks in advance, and some KFCs even offer holiday-themed meals with cake and champagne. What started as a clever ad has become a cultural staple. In Japan, the colonel wears a Santa hat. Number 87. Bamboo is the fastest-growing woody plant in the world. Some species can grow up to 35 inches in a single day. That's over an inch every hour. This super plant belongs to the grass family, and despite its rapid growth, it's incredibly strong and durable. Bamboo is used in everything from furniture and flooring to paper and food. It's also eco-friendly, as it absorbs more carbon dioxide and produces more oxygen than many trees. Nature's miracle stick, growing faster than your to-do list. Number 88. Charles Darwin is credited with inventing the office chair, sort of. The famed scientist modified a regular wooden chair by adding wheels so he could move more efficiently between his workstations. This small adjustment gave rise to the concept of mobile seating, especially in work environments. While he wasn't trying to revolutionize office furniture, his need for efficiency while studying evolution actually evolved the chair. So next time you roll across the room, give Darwin a little nod of appreciation. Number 89. Mariah Carey holds the record for the most #1 singles by a solo artist on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. With 19 chart toppers, including Fantasy, Vision of Love, and the seasonal juggernaut All I Want for Christmas Is You, she surpassed both Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson. Known for her 5-octave vocal range and whistle tones, Carey's influence spans generations. She's not just the queen of Christmas, she's pop royalty, period. Glitter and memes aside, her music resume is absolutely legendary. Number 90. Only 10% of people are left-handed, and statistically, men are more likely to be lefties than women. Throughout history, left-handedness was often misunderstood or even discouraged. Sinister literally comes from the Latin word for left. But left-handed people have excelled in sports, arts, and science. Famous southpaws include Leonardo da Vinci, Oprah Winfrey, and Barack Obama. The brain wiring in left-handed individuals often differs slightly, sometimes leading to creative thinking or ambidexterity. So if you're a lefty, you're in rare and excellent company. Number 91. Cats sleep an average of 15 hours a day, some even clocking in 20 hours. That means a cat can spend about 2/3 of its life asleep. This habit comes from their wild ancestors, who conserved energy for hunting. Even domestic cats, who don't need to chase prey, retain the same instincts. You might call it lazy, but to a cat, it's just efficient. Plus, their sleep comes in short bursts, so don't be fooled. They're always ready to pounce. Number 92. You share your birthday with approximately 19 million people worldwide. With over 8 billion people on Earth and only 365 days in a year, the math checks out. While you might feel like your birthday is your special day, and it is, there are millions celebrating right alongside you. And yet, every person's experience, memory, and meaning attached to that date is totally unique. So whether you're blowing out candles solo or with friends, you're part of a giant birthday club. Number 93. There are about 5,000 known species of sea sponges. These simple aquatic animals don't have brains, hearts, or organs, but they've been around for over 600 million years. Sponges filter water to feed and breathe, absorbing bacteria and nutrients through tiny pores. Some are soft, others are hard and rock-like. They come in wild colors and shapes, decorating coral reefs across the globe. Fun fact, they're also the only animals that, if you blend them up, can reassemble themselves. Wild, right? Number 94. Beyoncé is the most awarded artist in Grammy history, with a record-breaking 32 wins and 88 nominations. Her iconic career spans decades, from Destiny's Child to Renaissance, with genre-defying albums and legendary performances. She holds records in multiple categories including R&B, dance, and pop. Known for her vocal power, creativity, and work ethic, Beyoncé's influence reaches far beyond music, touching fashion, culture, and activism. When she walks into a room or onto a stage, history tends to follow her. Number 95. The word cereal comes from Ceres, the Roman goddess of agriculture and grain. She was associated with harvests, crops, and fertility, and her name gave rise to terms related to farming. When breakfast cereals were first developed in the late 19th century, the name made perfect sense: processed grain products honoring the goddess of grain herself. So next time you're pouring a bowl of cornflakes or granola, you're making an offering, sort of, to an ancient agricultural deity. Number 96. The tiny pocket in your jeans, the one no one uses, was originally made to hold a pocket watch. Back in the 1800s, cowboys and workers needed a safe place for their timepieces, and Levi's included that mini pocket as a practical feature. Today, most people use it for coins, guitar picks, or just ignore it altogether. It's a relic of the past stitched into modern fashion, a small detail with big history. So yes, that little thing had a big purpose. Number 97. The Pope cannot be an organ donor. While the Vatican supports organ donation for the public, the Pope's body becomes property of the Catholic Church upon death. This tradition ensures that no part of the Pope's remains is separated, honoring the sanctity of the papal body. So even if a Pope carried a donor card before being elected, that status is overridden. It's one of the many unique rules tied to the role of the pontiff, both in life and after. Number 98. Lemons float, but limes sink. The reason? Density. Lemons have a slightly lower density than water, thanks to their thicker rinds and air pockets. Limes are denser and typically don't have as much trapped air, causing them to drop to the bottom. It's a quirky but reliable trick, great for impressing people at parties or figuring out what's what in your fruit bowl. And yes, this also means lemonade has a buoyant origin, while limeade takes a dive. Number 99. Africa is the only continent located in all four hemispheres: north, south, east, and west. The equator runs through its middle, while the prime meridian cuts through several Western countries. This gives Africa a uniquely central position on Earth. It spans climates from desert to rainforest and contains over 50 countries. From the Nile to the Sahara to the Cape of Good Hope, Africa is geographically and culturally diverse and literally centered in the global landscape. Number 100. In Gilmore Girls, actress Keiko Agena was 26 years old when she played Lane Kim, a 15-year-old high school student. Meanwhile, Alexis Bledel, who played Rory, was only 19 at the time. This age gap casting is common in Hollywood, where actors often portray much younger characters. Keiko's youthful appearance and spirited performance helped sell the illusion. It's just one of those behind-the-scenes quirks of television that fans might never guess while binge-watching Star's hollow drama. Number 101. In the 19th century, people actually consumed arsenic to improve their skin. Known as arsenic wafers, these tablets were marketed as beauty aids promising a fairer, clearer complexion. Users were warned to avoid large doses, of course, since arsenic is toxic, but the risks were often downplayed in favor of vanity. Though later banned, these products were popular among women seeking porcelain skin. It's a chilling